Hello people, this is PowerRider here with the review of the Kamen Rider Revice DX Barid Rex Vistamp. So this is the first main power-up item of Kamen Rider Revice. As you can see, Revice is actually getting the form here as Revice transforms into Barid Rex Genome, while Vice is stuck in Rex Genome. Yeah, he only gets a shield. But yeah, overall, obviously there's the Vistamp right there. Then here's the Barid gimmick that we will show off. No more Revice. Bottom is everything that it can do. Luckily, there are actually two different renders of Revice, not of Vice. Because obviously, as you can see here, he's grabbing the Vistamp. So here we have the Barid Rex Vistamp out of its box. Obviously, as you can see, just from looking at this is a bit bigger than what we're typically used to, but you know, it's still typically the same size. The color scheme overall, I do like. Again, it's kind of the same color scheme we've gotten with the Revice stuff. Obviously, just a bit darker, which, you know, keeps that consistency. Obviously, as you can see from here, the big gimmick of this one is that this is an egg. You can see the arms and legs of the Rex. And then you get the activation button, which is the tail. Then you get a sensor up there for the Vistamps. I already think I did show the QR code for Kamen Rider. Obviously, because this is molded differently, the speakers are actually in the back now. And the magnet for Barid Rex, obviously, is just a T-Rex. And then as you can see from here, there's an additional button to which when you press that, it opens up the egg to reveal the Rex, which obviously at this point now it's robotic, which is pretty neat. And then it's actually even molded down here, which is really appreciative. This is where the LED is going to shine through. And then obviously you just close it back up to turn it back an egg. Then point out the Rex Vistamp just to compare. Interestingly, they decided to, like, you know, mirror it, which is pretty interesting. Obviously, I don't believe there's anything behind the Rex. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. It's just some, like, shapes and such. I do really like the gradient, though. And then, obviously, this is obviously different. I think it's still combined. Yeah, just really like what they did overall with this. So pulling out the pull tab and activating it like so through the button. So as you can see, it parallels between two different LED colors. So let's do that again. Opened up. So its main colors here are pink and blue. Obviously, we got the traditional stamping sound. Oops. Yeah, so I think that's pretty neat. And obviously, as it's already shown, I'll do this again for the transformation. But you can stamp any Vistamp on the top. Like, you know, here's Bat. And then, you know, Bata. Sometimes it's really picky, obviously. Obviously, you don't need to stamp it. Because literally, this is kind of an issue with Barid Rex. But, like, just because of how the light sensor works. Because these two sensors are essentially the same thing. You can really just put this behind and it will still work, like so. You were going to see the flaw of that later, but let's get the Revice driver. Oh, wait. I don't even think I hit the wall. So, obviously, activate like so. Then scan the Vistamp. Honestly, it's more uncomfortable doing this in person. Because I think it's supposed to be like something like this. I don't know. Stop. Obviously, you don't need to do the Barid, but, you know, to be accurate. Obviously, transform like so. So there we get the transmission of Kamen Rider Revice and technically Vice Barid Rex, which, you know, I like it overall. It's obviously a spin on the traditional Rex transformation. Such, here we get the Magnadoodle of Barid Rex. Again, I just like how the two dinosaurs are facing against each other, or not, away from each other. And I just really like how, again, just how Barid Rex looks on this thing overall, and such. So we do have a finisher. Obviously, it's a remix of the traditional finisher. Standby. So there we get the Barid Rex finish. I think that's pretty funny overall. And that's technically it. Because with Barid Rex, interestingly, you actually, it's a 1/3 of a chance, but you do get a new transformation. And this is just showing that you don't need to, like, you know, use a Vistamp. Obviously, the standby is a, you know, does something new with the, like, traditional standby. Let's just cut to me actually getting the transformation. Wow, that only took 3 tries, and compared to the demo where that took 7 tries. But yeah, so you get that extra phrase at the end. From what I know, that was never done in the show. This was only done within Beyond Generations, so it's at least canon somewhere. I also just really like overall the Barid Rex actually circulates between 3 different colors. It's a light blue, technically purple, or technically it's pink, and the purple. We don't have any Vistamps that are purple, interestingly. So now with this, let's just show the actual functionality of Barid Rex, which is the fact that it can scan Vistamps within the belt. Because you can't do traditional remixes. So, for example, if we were to use Rex, so let's say a pseudonym of that stamp, and then we just simply, you know, so basically what that does is that allows Revice to summon the remix of that Vistamp, which is pretty interesting, because that's why it says reborn and such. So let's use all the Vistamps we have up to this date. So So you obviously, let me show this. So let's use bats. So actually recognize it, and bata. And then again. So as you can see, I did up to 2, and then at max, the max is 10, but this time around I'll show this as 9. So let me pull out the Vistamp bar, so then this can be easier on me. Cool. So yeah, just like the Icon Driver G, when you don't do at max 10, it will actually do a roll call of all of them, and I accidentally scanned Mammoth twice, so couldn't use Jackal. So let's do all 10. I hope you guys don't mind not seeing the LEDs of the Vistamps. Obviously, as you can tell from here, the Revice driver actually isn't reacting to this thing because it's already done. Not gonna bother editing that one. And the thing is that if I do try to exceed that, it will say it, but it won't acknowledge it. So yeah, obviously it won't roll call all the stamps you put in, but it will acknowledge that you put in 10 and such. And yeah, so that's basically what this can do within the Revice driver. Obviously, taking this thing out of the Revice driver is tricky, just because if you take it out and then close it up, this thing will still think it's in the Revice driver, so you can still do the scans from here. So it will still think this is in the Revice driver. Technically, the only way to cancel it is by pressing the egg up and then just pushing this down. Because for some reason, this thing reacts when this thing actually moves down. So let's use this with everything we have. Alright. So, 2-side driver. So very glad that works. You can't do Barid Revice from there. And because you can't do any remixes, you can't Hisatsu Shonin, which is upsetting. So let's show this with an open egg. I'm at least happy it works, because we know what's happening. Alright. Pew pew. So I should probably actually acknowledge here too that the LEDs are actually paralleling between the three. And I don't think I ever mentioned that Barid Rex, for the most part, when it's not within like the Revice driver, does not emit 7 LEDs, because I don't think it does. When whatever. Bonk. I don't know. I thought I was getting somewhere, but I wasn't. What the? Oh, is this the plastic? I ruined this thing, did I? Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh no. All this acts as plastic, man. Okay. I don't understand why the Barid Rex sound is just the normal activation sound, because we know there is a, you know, attack version, so that's weird. But then again, I don't remember what the two-side driver did. Last but not least, gun the phone. I think that's another way of actually active. Stop. So we actually get a new Vice phrase, basically saying, check out the new Revice. And spoilers. It's actually just the one new phrase. But you know what? I'll take it. But yeah, overall my thoughts on Barid Rex is that for the first... Okay, it was just, I thought the set was falling apart again. Oh my gosh, but... basically... Not basically. For the first power-up within the series, I like it overall. It's really... It's kind of like the Decade Ride Watch, where they actually make some use out of... as to why you got all 10 Vice stamps, so then you got a Vice stamp that actually reads Vice stamps, which is really cool. It's just really unique of how much things at this point of the series that we can use Vice stamps in. Because now we got another additional item that we can use within our reviews to keep constantly dragging the demos. Woohoo! But like other than that, like I just really like the design of this overall. I really like the color scheme. I think the form's probably one of the best that we've gotten and such. And like I just like the egg, the dinosaur in the egg, and just this thing popping up and such. And obviously, just to bring this up, this is obviously in similar fashion to the candy toy Vice stamps. But this one's actually pressable. This one's this weird This one feels weird. But other than that, you know, for being a Q1 power-up item, it shouldn't be that difficult to get in the aftermarket. This was the only thing I managed to pre-order off of Revice via HLJ. So, obviously HLJ is not reliable. Just go on Mandarake for this thing. I think this should be for $20 just because, you know, I don't really see this one being that expensive. But yeah, I like it overall. So that'll have to do this review. So this is PowerRider, and I'll leave you people. Bye.